Yep, that's what I'm looking forward to. Is and also, that same theory applies to like how I'm doing my art.
Mm.
Some people would probably like uh not reveal all their plans or whatever for their cool art projects, but I'll tell you right now, one thing that I'm very interested in doing is create. Okay, so I'm sure you've been to worlds like Spike Boat and other kinds of like overtime overtime experiences, where you push the button and then you go on a ride basically.
Hello, welcome to Metaverse Degen. I'm Lion.
I'm old rap. Man, I fucked that up. But I'm Old Man Raptor, and we got a guest you want to hear. And it is...
Yeah. Annias. Annias.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure to get to sit down with you in this video and talk with you. Thank you for your time.
No doubt.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
So,
yeah, it's my pleasure. I was looking forward to it.
and I was looking forward to speaking with you. What is it you do here in the virtual world?
Well, there's a plethora of things, but I guess I'm probably mostly known for being a DJ and a producer that performs at a lot of underground VR raves, maybe something of that nature. For the most part.
So how'd you get involved with all that in the beginning and into VRchat?
Well, I've been producing and DJing since 1997, and it's been like the biggest passion of my life. It's more than an obsession at this point. So, like, I think the whole time since then, I've also been performing digitally as well. In the past, obviously, we didn't have video and VR, but we had IceCast and Shoutcast servers. So, most of us electronic musicians have been trying to perform digitally for a long time. As for VRchat, I think I got into it around 2017, maybe, and the technology I was using to access it wasn't that great, so my experience wasn't too good, and it was I didn't understand anything of actual responsible, organized adults doing things. It was mostly just, as we mentioned earlier, prepubescent screeching children and obscenities and lots of weird stuff. A couple interesting experiences, but I never really. I just dipped my toes in and was like, okay, that's weird, and I moved on. I came back for the Knuckles fiasco
Uganda Knuckles,
the knowing the way and the princess or whatever, or the queen. And that kind of motivated me to spend a little bit more time around here. And then I would say dibbling and dabbling and touching with a few different communities when the pandemic hit, and I found myself with a lot of extra time. Then I went all in and got some nice equipment and was here 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, partying for too long. So that's where it really picked up, just kind of.
I had to see his fucking electric bill. God damn, I bitch about mine. I can imagine 12 hours of this damn thing. Son of a bitch, yeah. There goes my power bill. I should be at Vegas. They can pay it. They run that alone too. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it was all right. I don't know. I was on unemployment doing what most Americans were doing, getting paid entirely too much to do nothing for like 6 months.
It's funny how during that time so many people blew all that money so quickly. Oh, cool! I get $2,400 in a couple of months, and now, wah.
Yeah, true. Well, I tried to put it to good use. At least, I had a nice roof over my head and food to eat, and I spent my time, kind of cultivating relationships here in VR and just trying to understand what was happening with all the different communities and being able to perform where it ramped up to where you're performing at least every day of the week, if not multiple times, with all the different time zones from the Americas to the Europeans and the Australians and the Koreans, like we spoke about. The party kind of never stops around here, so it's real easy to just keep going and be a serious degenerate.
So a degenerate, no shit. Can you imagine they're going, well, clocked in. Yep, clocked in for that. Fucking America. Now, guess what? That clock ran out. I'll go over here and play this clock and their clock and their clock. Before it's over, I'm back going, do I get in a nap in here between there?
I was just buying AA batteries and 40 packs, you know?
4 Jesus Christ. Martha, get the fucking battery truck over here. Back it up and dump the bitch in the backyard. I'll pick out what I need. Make sure it ain't a dog turd. I did that last week, and that didn't fit my controller. Fucking sucked. Yeah, I can imagine that.
I should have gotten some rechargeables, I guess, you know. But yeah, that's how I got into it. Is I've always been passionate about music and playing IRL shows. And when the pandemic hit and they literally shut everything down, you know, for at least a year there was nothing to do but be able to perform in a year. Even when they opened things back up on that second year, they only opened the outside here only opened up for about a month and a half, and then they shut that shit right back down. And so we were back to another year of no, you know, performances out in the IRL again. So yeah, I mean, this has been a savior to all of us who wanted something to replace the IRL. But then, to be honest, after I've been performing in VRchat for a couple of years now, I prefer to perform in VRchat over real life. I mean,
So I got a few questions for you. First, we'll start with the thing you just mentioned. Why do you prefer VRchat over real life DJing?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like in my professional career, right? I'm an IT manager, and I work with contracts from one side of the country to the other, but I work from home, right? So I have no commuting. I can just kind of relax and still have the same professional experience that I would otherwise. And it's no different in my artistic career, right? Like right now, I could go to somewhere on Earth and commune with somewhere between 20 to 20,000 people, right? And have an experience. But here, with no commuting whatsoever, as we just discussed, I can pretty much party in an uncountable amount of places every single night and perform in a variety of different time zones and cultures around the world with very little logistical effort on my behalf, right?
That's understandable. I definitely understand that. I can understand that sentiment.
And you know, you're still connecting with everybody. You know, most of my peers that haven't really made it into here yet, they don't understand, you know, that people are out in the crowd in full body VR dancing and break dancing and pole dancing and like you know, just there's no lack of satisfaction for me about the way that I feel the energy from the crowd when I'm performing in VR than real life. It's the same kind of vibe, and I love it. So I don't know, it's just way more convenient. I mean, there's a lot of other amenities to that question that don't even have anything to do with me, right? Like I remember asking the same question to some party goers over the years, just at random times. And maybe one time a girl told me that she really enjoyed being able to party in VR because she didn't have to worry about getting her drink drugged. You know, and I mean, I know I'm not saying that it doesn't ever happen to guys or whatever, but I've never really experienced that, you know, from someone else. And I didn't even have that perspective and realize like the kind of reasons why it may be more comfortable for people to party here, you know?
Yeah, it's a lot safer here. You're inside your own home.
Yeah, and I feel like if I'm going to be entertaining people, I would rather have them feel safe and happy than have to be worrying about all kinds of other dumb shit when they're trying to enjoy the art and have a good time with their friends, you know? So I don't know. For me personally, it feels great, and I noticed that it's pretty dope for a lot of other people.
Okay.
Yeah, that spiked drink that everybody enjoys. Goddamn Willis pissed in my drink again, son of a bitch. If I wasn't in real world, I wouldn't have that problem. Asshole.
So,
hey, just to let you know, this is my buddy Nargosa. Nargosa, we're here doing a podcast interview right now, and you're welcome to chill if you like. But I'll be wrapping up here in probably an hour or something. I think. I don't know.
All right. Well, I could head out for a bit. It's all good, man. Just coming to check out what's going on.
Yeah. Just hang out and listen, or do whatever you like. It's free country.
I'll be up here, bro.
Hey, while you're out there, I need some popcorn. Would you bring that around? And a beer. Make that a whiskey and Coke to go. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah, that's good.
You mentioned in the beginning that you started playing digitally, like Shoutcast. May I ask what those platforms are? The old ones.
It's a protocol. Like Shoutcast and Icecast are just protocols that you transmit audio onto a server that can then serve other people. So like right now, I could use a bunch of like you don't have to have a third party service. You can just run a little program on your computer, like EUTT actually, and you would connect the output of your DJ gear to it, and then hit stream. And then you can go into Winamp or VLC or something like that and put in the IP to that radio, and then you can tune right in. So we would host our own streaming service. And I mean, obviously you couldn't have like super high bandwidth, from yourself. You could rent those kind of servers on like a professional server and then be able to serve to a lot more people. But we would stream just audio back then before you had stuff pop up in the late 2000s, like Justin TV that turned into Twitch and stuff like that, or even Google or whatnot. There wasn't really a lot of live video going down unless you had something really special that was like high production value. So we would just transmit. We did radio shows for years, and the underground producers scene really thrived on that because producers are the people that are going to love music more than anybody, right? Like we eat, sleep, and just focus on music, and that's how we would show off all of our new unreleased material and kind of inspire one another. And that was going on from like the mid to late 90s all the way through until video took over in the early 2010s.
Oh wow.
I mean, you see it survive today in formats on like websites and stuff. You ever see like 24/7 radio on a website or something like that? That's what they're doing.
Okay. I've seen them around. I actually didn't know that was going on at that point, but then again, I was a little bebop running around doing random kid things at that time.
That's all right. I call that's just spawn RNG. Nobody knows when we were going to show up here. You know what I mean?
I ain't saying nothing. I'm too old for that kind of crap.
So,
hey, where's my alcohol? God damn it! Son of a bitch! It's hard to get good help these days. Jesus Christ, paying good money.
Once you hopped into VRchat and VR, who got you going in this scene? Like, what was some of your first places you started, and who helped you?
Let's see. I was probably, because like you obviously can't just kind of osmosis yourself into invite, friends plus invite only worlds. You're gonna have to start off like in a black cat or a pug or somewhere where you can get to, right? And you're gonna just hope that like among the mirror dwellers that you run into that somebody is from the other side of the mountain that can take you to the village. You know what I mean? And I think somehow I probably was just shooting the shit with somebody like we are, and we started talking about what we like to do and whatnot. And I mentioned, I'm a producer and a DJ and blah blah blah. Well, the next thing you know, they're letting me know, hey, I know somebody who messes around with doing that stuff. Here's let's go see this person or whatever. And the first people that I got introduced to was folks over at Resumu and DDVR.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they actually have a cool thing that they do. They've been around. They're I think both of those folks are OGs in the VR chat electronic music scene, and they have a lot of really nice events that they plan and whatnot. But then they've also got Launchpad. I don't know if they're still doing it, but every other week, both Resumu and DDVR would allow. It's specifically for DJs that have not DJed in VR yet. So it doesn't matter if you like have never DJed before or if you've been DJing for fucking 25 years and you internationally toured or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like you're still new here. And while I think that there is a respect for people who have good craft of their art, you still are stepping into a brand new social scene where there is I mean, like it or not, there is a pecking order and like a social kind of currency that exists as far as just being present and being involved and getting to know people and not just being like a superficial douchebag that's gonna pop in and expect everything, right? So they have they have a place called Launchpad where Monday nights they'll go back and forth. Like one DJ will play at Resumo and then the next one will play at DDVR. I might have to come back in on desktop because this headset's being a little fussy with me, but I'm gonna keep going until it does, okay?
Oh, it's all good. Well,
no problem. You do
what I'll do is once you die out, I'll stop the video and I'll just reattach them together later. No big
Perfect.
deal.
Yeah, sorry about that editing.
Don't apologize. Things happen.
It's good. He's got a good model glue that he works with all the time.
I've got this thing plugged in. I've got this headset plugged in, but it just won't. It said all of a sudden it gives me the message like it doesn't like that. I don't know. You know how it is.
Understandable.
So, all right. So about Resumo though, Launchpad, they would have DDVR have one DJ play, and then everybody would portal back over to Resumo, and they'd have the next DJ play, and back and forth. And so what you got out of the experience was obviously for anybody who was able to even party on a Monday night, which there was still like 50 to 70 people there every Monday night. It was still wild at that point. You got DDVR and Resumo both getting to crash their worlds together. And all these new artists every other Monday. I think they would do it every Monday if there was that many new DJs that had never performed in VR, because they're always, we've got a steady flow of them coming in, experienced ones from the outside, and a steady flow of people who are learning and wanting to do it from the inside. So sometimes they do it every week. A lot of times I think it's every other week. And yeah, sure shit, I got up there and I rocked the shit out of it and made a whole bunch of friends that first night. And what's wild is the first night that I performed, the people that I ended up making friends with ended up becoming like my main VR family that to this day, like that Alisana guy that you met with all the metal and whatnot, he comes from that same first VR family that I got introduced to because of that show that night. It had like massive reverberations for the rest of my...
Oh, he died. Welcome back. All
right. All right. Well, I apologize for all the technical difficulties.
Oh, no.
We're gonna get there.
Hey,
you know
he
what?
does it
I'm gonna
too.
go ahead and be me. Go ahead and be.
It's all good.
Readjust the cameras.
It's gonna look funny. Okay. It's gonna look funny on the video that I'm actually. But you know what? Technical difficulties
it's okay.
happen.
We don't care.
Sometimes life isn't
happens.
perfect.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, we know that. Ask him about getting his legs stuck in there sometime.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Oh, when he does that yoga?
Yeah. Well, in one of our older videos, the one with White Strelitzia, funny thing is I was making a joke where I was like, legs in the air, and some other reference, and I froze with my legs up. And you could see in the camera for a little bit where my legs froze in the air. Well, those two bozos were cracking jokes the entire time till I've left.
Yep, we were laughing our asses off. Oh yeah, we do all kinds of shit. We do all kinds of crap. So it's no big deal.
So I do have a question.
Yeah, well, I know that you guys do like this interview all the time, and you always want to find out what's awesome about your guests and everybody on the other side. You like all the time. But how did you, if you would take a moment, how did you get involved in the ambition of trying to feel all these subcultures, all these?
You want to answer that, or do you want me to?
The nickel story.
The biggest thing is what it started out as, in my point of view, as being the old man. I bumped into it. It's just VR. You bump heads with so many different people, and you bump to one, blah, blah, blah. Well, a good friend of ours is Lolly. He's the one that started it all. And everything else like this. And I just met Lion through Lolly, and everything else like this. And Lolly all of a sudden put brakes on because his work got busy. You know how life gets you, Things were coming around. COVID was slow. All of a sudden, everybody's being let outside their door, saying, "Oh, it's okay. You could come out and play now, Mom. Don't mind." And everything else like this. And he got busy with regular work and life itself, so he asked Lion to take it over. Well, in the process of and stuff like this, Lion got together with another gentleman and stuff like this, and they just asked me to come along because, holy shit, I'm the old man.
Because you're a freaking character. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't really a character because it was a little different then compared to what it is now. And what it started out is all of a sudden that group broke down. So what it amounted to is Lion still wanted to keep it going. So he comes back and asks me, hey, Raptor, what can I do? And I go, how about you just do it off the hip, play it the way you see it, let people be themselves, talk to those people, because that's why they're in you. And shoot the shit, have a good time, whatever it is, and wherever it goes, and boy, does it go sometimes, folks. We get a little crazy, but we still wipe our asses just like everybody else and sit on the shitter like everybody else. So we have a good time and have fun. So we've been friends since.
Awesome.
And just...
Well, I appreciate the nickel tour of how this all came to be on your guys' side. It's impressive to me. For everybody watching out there, these guys didn't actually come to me. I came to them. I saw their YouTube channel and I was like, yo, I love what you're doing.
I appreciate it. We appreciate it,
Indeed.
Well, the world out there doesn't understand all this awesome stuff that we get to experience on a daily basis. Beautiful that you guys are spending time and energy to share it with.
Well, I do appreciate people such as yourself coming to speak with us, because without people like yourself coming to sit down and speak with us for 1 to 2 hours, we wouldn't have such awesome videos. Instead, we'd be having videos of me and Raptor talking about meta having legs now and other weird stuff back when we used to do just like friend group chats. And fun fact, unfortunately, a lot of that content is gone because we switched over this year to interviews. And so from that, I said, we're doing something different now, and I just kind of privated all those videos. Maybe at some point I'll bring them back. I don't know.
Oh, cool.
But at the meantime...
Well, we're like a yin-yang.
Yeah. In the
a lot of yin, but no yang, because guess what? Nobody likes that. It just sucks, okay?
So I have a question for you now.
Very cool.
What was early VRchat clubbing like? Because I came in 2020, 2021. I've been here about 3 years, and I did not get to experience the pre-COVID clubbing scene. What was that like?
Well, I didn't really experience it much either. I think I did come in right before the pandemic hit. It was like that Christmas, because the pandemic started on in March, right?
I think so. Yeah,
March.
I think
it was in
March.
The teens. It was in the teens of March 2021 when they everything shut down and we had riots going on. And wild, right? I came in that Christmas and it was already established at that point, like the folks that were doing it and they were doing it well. There is one example of I did one show in VR, I think pre-COVID, or I was trying to, with a group called Lycon, the leader of some group. Got something. It was around it was like one of the first ones. I don't know. I don't hear about it too much because they were on like the seedier side of things for a long while, and so it just wasn't like really right. So I did end up performing them more after COVID went and got all going, but I had tried to reach out to them maybe like 9 months to a year beforehand, back in 2019, 2020, out. So I also didn't see like the earliest manifestation of what was going on, because again, that was during the time period between when the Knuckles meme had peaked and everything, whatever else happened after that. And I think most of us got our fill of Knuckles either in person or on YouTube, and this kind of went on for a little, went about our way for a little while. So I missed whatever like organically grew out of all that growth before COVID. But let me tell you, once COVID hit, I mean, it's still pretty happening now. I mean, I think if you look at this Steam active player numbers, it's still increasing now compared to then. But man, it was wild. Just because, again, there was such a large amount of people with disposable income and wanting to little party. It was like a perfect storm of generous.
Indeed.
I cannot answer your question. I don't know. I mean, the people that were there, like right as it started, it's about like it is now. I don't think there was really. I haven't seen a lot of like phenomenal change the way that the electronic music events are happening, but about the same thing. Mostly.
Okay.
I got a question for him. Since the first time that you got into VR, we asked this to a lot of, what was the weirdest thing that you saw and it just stuck in your head and never goes away when you got into VR? The very first thing you saw.
You live?
I'm thinking.
Oh.
Is it? Yeah, I'm alive. Sorry.
Wow, I fucked him up. I made him brain dead.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Well, no. I'm trying to start. Like, I don't know how your guys' memory works, but like sometimes something will come to you right away, and then other times you gotta like dig into the files a little bit and figure out. Like, I'm trying to think of the weirdest. I mean, you see a lot of weird. I don't know. I don't know if anything stands out as more weird than others. There's just odd things, but I don't know. I think okay, sometimes this place feels like it's 4chan personified.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you can like. There's nothing that sticks out. Sometimes, I mean, I guess like I don't know. You would have to bleep it out. You know what I'm saying? Like that. If you wanted to know the weirdest shit I've seen, it's just like going to parties where people have very little inhibitions and just seeing phalanges flying around everywhere. That would probably be some weird.
You know, that reminds me of a story myself. An old friend of mine, early friend of mine, invited me to a club, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. It was a furry rave club thing, and I was hanging out, listening to music and jamming, and then it ended. And then people started enjoying each other in a giant moving amorphous thing. And I was like, wait, hold on. What's going on here? Where did you invite me to, dude? What is this?
and you know, I participated. It's just like when you're around here, some of the people you know are pretty free. That's just like, that's fine, you know. It is a big turn off for some people to see folks that are just that free, like polyamorously and just kind of going for it or whatever. I've never really participated in all that, but I also don't judge those folks. And I'll tell you what, I started partying. One of those groups had me regularly DJing for them for a spell. You know, maybe like 3 or 4 months or whatever, and I really go ham with them. And it was, as you say, you know, kind of a little Roman-esque. But for me, I found that culture was mad interesting because, yeah, those people are naked physically, but they're also kind of naked emotionally and spiritually. Like, they're very open people. And I feel like even though there might be some promiscuity, and that's kind of looked at with a strange eye, man, the way that they operate, like mentally and spiritually, is a little bit different than people who are, I guess, really shy or square or whatever. And I found it quite refreshing just around people who are that open, even though I didn't necessarily have the same, you know, biological urges as they did. Man, awesome culture. We can get past all the phalanges.
Indeed. I have found a lot of those people I've met in VRchat similar to the ones I've told you about, like the friend who brought me there, and they're really blunt people, and I find that the most refreshing thing.
Yeah.
As I was telling you yesterday.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, I wasn't used to that.
No, not at all. Like, one of the things, like when I was telling you earlier, you may be hearing this or not, I came into VRchat and I was a bit black-pilled, kind of, because everything going on at the time, I was like, what's the point? Everyone's so aggressive.
Yeah, it's quite surprising with how happy you are now.
Indeed. And when I came in here, I met that group. They were so blunt. They conversed. I saw people who had differing views conversing, having beers with each other. It's like, what kind of weird, bizarre world is this? And then from there, it's just It's refreshing and amazing to see people so blunt and open and conversing. It's like a weird thing.
I think you had kind of a similar experience that I did with that. I think you had a similar experience I did, and it goes back to a little bit about what we talked about yesterday. Thank you so much for coming out to my show yesterday. Glad you had a good time.
It was fun. TJ's was an amazing, great place. If you haven't been, TJ's Tavern, go visit. It's great.
TJ's Tavern. Yep.
Sorry to interrupt.
My homegirl Tina J Meow has been running that for a couple years, and they do throwbacks. Like I was telling you, they do throwback Thursdays. So if you're not into all the techno stuff and you want old hip hop or classic rock, that's good. As we were talking about there yesterday, the people we were just mentioned are very intimate, yeah. But the thing is, I think that there's this conversation where people think, oh, you can't have like real relations or real, like real friendship, whatever, or whatnot, or they think it's like a little superficial. But I think that the kind of faux, and this is what I said, I think the faux anonymity that you have in like makes people open up more otherwise. Like, yes, we're all three in the same room. We are talking on Discord and after, but really, like, we still don't know yet. So still kind of, relatively anonymous. Not a lot of repression.
Not to sorry to interrupt you, but your mic's cutting in and out a little bit.
Oh, I said there's
losing my shit. I thought it was on my fucking head. God, I'm losing my shit already. God damn it. It happens.
I was just saying that the faux anonymity that we have here in VRchat leads to people being quite open with each other. See that in that culture that we come from, where man, people are really open with each other. But that's those kind of places. Once you get accepted into the tribe, you're basically part of the family.
A lot of people here I found to be some of the most nicest, most helpful people I've ever had the chance to meet. Like, let's say, for example, the gentleman introduced you earlier, Como Dude, when he first started interviews, he's one of the first people to be all gung-ho, let's go. And he was very happy to be among the first people to interview. He's been nothing but amazing and helpful the entire way. And a lot of people in VRchat from that community is the exact same way. Like, I found a lot of people are very willing to help promote you, very willing to, like, just be your friend or talk to you about whatever, drag you along for fun, whatever it may be. People here are so amazing.
Yeah, I will agree with you. Support-wise, I was really surprised. Here's some interesting stuff that I haven't told yet. When I started performing, now doing music for so many years, I've definitely put more money into equipment and music and different things than I've ever gotten out of it. Even getting paid hundreds and hundreds of dollars a show and type of thing. It's just never really panned out as a profitable thing for me to do. It's just my art, right? But when I started performing in VR in 2021, the amount of support that I got from the VR community financially was so much that I swear in the first year that I was playing in VR, I got more donations, more money for my art than all the other years combined.
Wow.
Like, I don't know what the hell. Maybe it's partly because of the fact that like a lot of the VR people are financially secure, at least, or at least most of them could have afforded a computer and a headset, so they're not like home. You know what I mean? They're not like trying, barely surviving. Mostly, so there are some folks that are having a tough time in here, but man, the support was unexpected, and it hasn't continued that way. I think the economy has tightened up a little bit over the last little while, and the donations aren't just flying in like they used to. But it was unbelievable. People would be coming in dropping $100 donations, or 100, 25, 100 person subscription. It was wild. So wasn't expecting it. Was very grateful.
Wow, that's amazing to hear, man. I remember hearing from some people we've talked to prior that during COVID, the rave scene exploded with people. It was like someone flipped a switch from the moment they said, the moment they started lockdowns.
Oh, it absolutely did. I mean, again, I as I told Raptor at the beginning of during that time, I was literally on VR 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, if not more. I had nothing to do. I mean, I could have obviously been doing self-development or whatever, but I was just blown away by what was happening in here. And as you said, it had ramped up to the point where I wasn't just like staring at walls for half of that time. I mean, there was just parties all the time, everywhere, nonstop, and it was amazing, and it still is. I think if if you really apply yourself, like it doesn't stop even today. But it definitely felt a little more intense. But I don't even know if I can say that because like every party I go to has like 50 to 70 people at it every night. Like I don't know. It's still pretty intense.
Well, I think a lot of the people who came in during COVID probably moved on from VR once they've had their lives come back. But that hasn't stopped a lot more new people from coming in. Because I've noticed, like, during the COVID times, a lot of people pumped out so many videos, like with Rappelgator and all of those OG streamers in VRchat making content. A lot of people now, whenever we've talked to, is like, oh, I remember seeing those Knuckles videos or this other meme video, and usually they're among the top cited, and they still reverberate now. People coming from all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like I'm probably in a little bit of a bubble because, you want to know like how VR chat's hitting out there. I don't know. I would have to go into some kind of like ghost accounts on all these social media places because right now, if I go to Twitter or to YouTube or Instagram, all I fucking see is VR chat stuff. That's what I interact with, right? So back to me. To me, the world's full of VR chat, but to the outside world, I don't know how it looks right now. I'm in the echo chamber.
Well, from what I kind of see, because I've kind of created a new YouTube, couple YouTube accounts just to kind of have floating around and
see what's happening.
Yeah, see what's happening, and you'll see Fia a lot. You'll see Rafflegator a lot. You'll see some stuff from the boys.
Sure.
You'll see some thriller videos.
Thrill Seeker.
Yep. Yeah. You'll see him. Some of that stuff you'll see floating around. You'll see some of the documentaries that's been coming out. Some of the VR chat short films come out.
I saw that there was like a Netflix or an HBO. There was like a higher production level Netflix or HBO documentary.
We Met in VR
about like love in VR.
Yeah, We Met in VR. I think it was, or something like that. So that stuff is
that's really nice to see.
Indeed. Oh.
I don't know how you guys feel about that kind of stuff, but like I've got several different groups of friends who met in VR in different places in the world and all live together. Like I've seen it happen. It does happen. It's not just like they're making they're making real babies in VR now.
Well, I have no problem with people doing VR chat dating. Hell, I did a few with some people. And if it's something you like, it's something you like. But I see a bit of a dichotomy within the VR chat dating scene. There are those who take it seriously and those who treat it as a little bit of fun. And I see a lot of VR chat people not be able to mix too well. There's a people hop who just want a little bit of fun for a couple of minutes. And there are those like who really treat it for love.
I agree with you. I think maybe there's like a dichotomy between like some folks don't. I don't know. I want to say something that I told you yesterday again, Raptor. In my opinion, it doesn't matter if you're sitting on the couch or in real life or on the phone with somebody or in a video call or in VR chat. Like we all live 5 milliseconds with each other. It's all just ways, different. They have different amenities.
Indeed.
So I don't see any difference from the popsicle world to the VR world, but some people definitely. I mean, and I think it a little suspicious.
Indeed.
Like you said, maybe playing it like it is actually a game. Really human. Whatever. I mean, everybody can do whatever they want. Same features that afford us such a nice safety also.
You're still cutting it out. I'm gonna call you on Discord. Hopefully it'll be a little clear. Sorry. No. I'm gonna give you a call on Discord just to be sure.
No problem.
It's clear.
No problem.
Sorry, I do apologize. VRchat.
Really frustrated.
VRchat does a funny thing. That's all. Happens to me all the time.
It's not your fault. Yeah, it happens.
In the past, it happened with me because of the noise. It like over noise suppresses, but I turned it off.
No, you just got to lag and you cut in and out a little bit here and there. It's like you start strong and then it just all of a sudden
and it fades
starts
up.
to skip.
So weird.
It skips. It starts to skip out.
Well, you guys make a good point, which is I probably need to go ahead and invest better in my recording equipment for my voice. I've got great musical gear, but maybe that's something.
I don't think it's you. I think as we are in 3 different parts of the country, running through a VRchat server with different internet speeds, usually that stuff's going to happen regardless of which. And it's not something you can really control all the time. And I do apologize. I just want to be sure people can hear you clearly. That's all. I'm not trying to be rude or push you in any sort of way. And hopefully it doesn't come off as that.
No, it doesn't feel like that. You're fine here.
Yeah, he's a slave driver. Don't worry. He's okay.
Raptor, get back to the editing booth.
Yeah,
okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wilson, get the goddamn fucking booth fired up. We're going. I don't know what the hell's that. I don't know what's on my end. I keep hearing pop-ups in the back of my shit. So it's no big deal. It just happens wherever it goes.
All right, well, we'll just fly with it.
Yeah, shoot from the head.
I'll mute myself so that way you don't have 2 audios.
Okay, I'm going to invite Raptor in here.
Then Raptor won't be able to.
Oh,
yeah, you're going to invite me in here. What do you mean invite me in here? I'm already in here, you fuck.
He's going to invite you to Discord.
Discord. Oh.
There we go.
Indeed.
What do you want me to do now, Mom? Can you mute off one end or shut the other one down, you fuck?
Mute VRchat.
And then we'll be good, guys.
Oh. Indeed. I have no problem with a lot of the VRchat dating scene, though. I've seen some people and met some people who also very much so a lot of the time have met, married, and even are starting families now. Hell, some friends Raptor has done it. And we've met them.
Hey, congratulations to your people. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends in here that how you want to put it, have met, dated, hooked up, and now they're living underneath the same roof, or they got married, or what's the biggest thing is, like I said in here, in VR itself, is sometimes it's family oriented. That's another one. You met your wife in here, or your husband and stuff like this, and they keep going. They still work together. They work together. Yeah. They hang together. It's just they don't throw it off like, okay, we've done it, we're together. No, they still involved how they met each other in VR, so they're still running the same way. I've got one in Como's world that the host there, her husband comes in and watches her host and everything. And that takes a lot. That's cool, you know. He's spending time one way and still interested in what she does, vice versa, and that's what's cool. That's a relationship that's going to go somewhere in VR. Because they met in VR. I don't know if they actually did, but they're still working to get, those two are working together and stuff like this, and he's spending whatever he can with her, no matter what they do, what they're both interested in. It's the new technology is, like I tell Lion, you go with the flow or you get left behind. And it's just one of those things. You move forward or just stand back. It's nuts. And it's great that
it's probably more comfortable if you got people around you that are going with that flow with you too,
Yeah. You get the people that, well, like mine, I had my daughter involved because she had problems with anxiety with meeting people. Well, she started out strong and stuff like this, and other things come up, and she gets on once in a great while. But she met her boyfriend on here and everything else like this, but it's how it works. It's just a different zone for different people. The timelines changed, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, if I showed half this, what I'm doing right now, to my old classmates, they'd think I'm out of my fucking mind. Are you fucking nuts? And it's just, how do you know until you try it? It's just one of those things.
You
You're in
make
your
a really
safe.
good point about people who are doing like having like a little bit of shyness or difficulty communicating in the in the real world. I can't tell you how many times I've met somebody who was a mute. And for those that aren't familiar with our nomenclature, sometimes you meet people who don't speak. Sometimes they're actually physically mute and they can't speak. Other times they just aren't comfortable speaking, right? So they're called mutes. And I've had several occasions over the last years now. I'm a very loving and accepting person, so I tend to a lot of these kind of people kind of magnate towards me. And there's a couple people on my mind right now where when I met them, they're mutes and they wouldn't talk, and I would be very loving and cool to them, and then that would go on for months, 3 months, 6 months, never having spoken a word with the person who you're really close with, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, their mic turns on and they suddenly feel comfortable to speak with you, and then you watch them grow, and then the next time you come on, maybe another couple months later, they're introducing you to some friends and they're talking, and all of a sudden they've opened up and they're flowering as a person where before they didn't even have the courage to open their mouths and communicate with other people. And then you can slowly see VR chat facilitate them to be able to blossom into a social person that can be that can love others and be loved and feel okay. And that is beautiful because think about how what kind of experience that person might have in the real world where everything's a lot more harsh and difficult. Man, this place really is able to heal a lot of people as well.
Indeed. I remember in a lot of the times when I'm like back last year before I started interviewing people, I would like scour through a bunch of VR news articles. I even still do it now. One of the things I come across, there's some psychologists doing some research about the effects of VR and people with like PTSD, depression, and anxiety, and they have found VR a lot of the time helps people through whatever it is they're dealing with a lot of the time. Even people with some like hardcore PTSD and stuff as well. It's just, as Raptors said before, VR, you have that anonymity and the mask on of the avatar. As you said earlier, people tend to open up a lot more because of it. And I think that allows a lot of people
Yeah.
to work past and through a lot of their troubles. And the fact that places like VRchat, the fact that it's such a kind and helpful group of people also allows people to move on as well. If you're like back in the day, back in like Call of Duty lobbies, if this was like that, it wouldn't have the same effect at all.
No, you're 100% right, and it's interesting that you bring up VR therapy. So I come from a family where all the males in my family, my father, brother, cousin, uncle, everybody are all Marine Corps jarheads, right? So they've all at some point been dehumanized and turned into murderers, and then brought back into society and told to play nice, right? And they have some difficulties with that, to say the least. And I also am a IT manager for a federal contracting company that mostly works with like the veterans, like the Department of Veterans, where we work at Arlington National Cemetery and lots of VA medical centers and things like that, where we deal with lots of people who are struggling in that manner. So it got me to thinking about VR therapy because I'm obviously passionate about VR, and I got a lot of people in my life that suffer from PTSD. So I've been doing a lot of research in that area on my own time, and would like to further the development of the professional side of what we know and can do with VR therapy, because it's really just being explored. There's not even any official medical guidelines for it yet. There's a couple organizations that have tried to kind of set some standards, but it's really kind of the wild, wild west when it comes to VR therapy. And like I said, as I consider some of my passions and how I'd like to help people, I would be remiss to say that it isn't something that's been on my mind that I've been putting some effort into.
So what kinds of things have you learned in your research about like VR therapy? may I ask?
Well, I mean, again, the first thing I wanted to find out was if there was any kind of regulatory body or if there was any kind of medical guidance that was giving, some standardization to the experience. And right now, like I said, there's maybe two companies in the world that sort of have um, a synopsis and a kind of like a way that they can accredit people for their accreditation, but there's nothing official, right? So I started looking up all of the different styles of VR therapy because it can do a lot more than just like treat a PTSD. It could be somebody that's got arachnophobia and you're doing exposure therapy and different things like that. What I learned was there's a lot of different traditional types of therapy that can be, you know, madly enhanced by VR. I mean, it it, it brings up another topic, which is like think about what's going on in VR right now. We're in a 90-degree angle kind of boxy place. We're not really doing a whole, I mean, other than the fact that we're all geolocated differently, but we feel like we're in the same little temporal space. We're not doing much different than what we normally do in real life. We have a place with a floor and a ceiling and some walls, and we're standing around, and there's a pool table over here, and I mean, like it's not too much different than what we would normally experience. I would say that in general, not just with like hanging out spaces or DJ clubs or VR therapy, we are just scratching the surface when it comes to what creators are able to do to
Mm.
bring interesting experiences to people. I've got a very abstract mind, and when I think about VR therapy, I don't really even want to think. I don't want to be limited to think in terms of what some of the other companies are doing or how we've applied existing therapy. I want to
Mm.
bend my mind around, how can we use an interactive system like this to adjust reality to provide solutions for people that need to get through different types of experiences. So I
Mm.
think we're just scratching the surface there.
Mm.
And what I've learned is that they are effectively using some traditional therapies in VR, and if nothing else, like it, it has some of the same benefits that I see from being a DJ in VR. Imagine you're somebody who's experiencing PTSD and you want to get therapy, but you don't want to like go out into the world and travel around and have to deal with all that bullshit. You can throw on a $300 Quest 2 and go to a virtual environment with a therapist and have whatever kind of setting is comfortable and whatnot. So, like it's some of the same amenities that make everything else convenient here logistically makes therapy that much more accessible.
Mm.
And we have a mental health crisis around this world, and I think it would be it seems like it's almost cheaper to connect people with VR than it is to try to like logistically move them around a lot more. But I don't know. That's just
Mm.
me.
No, I can definitely agree with you. There are many different things that we can do with VR. Like maybe, for example, that you know how like a lot of people or there's some people out there that have a hard time explaining what they're feeling. Well, using VR as a
Sure.
means to artistically explain how you're feeling. Like maybe there's some abstract world. I don't think Dr. Morrow's world does it, but I'm using his world as like an abstract way to build thought. It's like if you've ever been to Dr. Morrow's world, there's like how he builds his worlds in that way where it flows through different scenes using VR and that kind of means for someone who can't explain like, oh, this is what's going on upstairs. Instead, they can put you there. Or maybe like as you said, helping people through like arachnophobia as well. There are many different ways VR can be utilized for that, not just like the typical sitting down with a shrink. There's a whole, as you said, there's a bunch of possibilities, and I could see all of them.
Yep, that's what I'm looking forward to is and also, that same theory applies to like how I'm doing my art,
Mm.
some people would probably like uh not reveal all their plans or whatever for their cool art projects, but I'll tell you right now, one thing that I'm very interested in doing is create. Okay, so I'm sure you've been to worlds like Spike Boat and other kinds of like over time over time experiences, where you push the button and then you go on a ride basically,
Oh
like
yeah, 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 yeah.
the world change, everything changes, kind of your whole visual field changes. They do a lot of the wild like syncopated visuals to all the music and things of this nature.
Mm.
So I would like to take that to like another level where since I'm a music producer and I write my own music, I'm planning on writing a whole album, like an hour long musical experience that also you could imagine like I'm going to get up on stage, and on my avatar, I'm going to cue an animation, and that animation is like an hour-long performance that has music that manipulates reality in time with the music, but more so than just, oh, cool, it's a RGB spread whenever the bass hits and things like that. Like I think that there's like utilizing the thoughts and the subjects of what the music has got going on to really overlay and manipulate reality in some new ways is going to create a new art form that is just multimodal and more powerful than just one or the other on their own. Like I think when you start to combine music and visual effects and the subtle nuances of overlaying reality to a single and common kind of art cause, the experience that we get is just something new that I don't even know what to call it.
That actually sounds really awesome.
I want to do it so bad. Like the only thing that's standing between me and that is going through the processes of learning, doing the animation programming for Unity, which is, I believe, going to be real similar to doing video editing with time, keyframes and just kind of. It's going to be a little bit of an adventure, but I am looking to go that way because I want to express my art in that way and just kind of. I won't be. I feel like I'm definitely not going to be the only person to do it, But I would like to. Start working towards that and help spearhead.
Is Annias here?
Oh, yep. Annias is here.
I am here. Yes.
Raptor, you're muted in Discord as well, Raptor.
Just making sure you're here now. So I was talking to you a couple of weeks back about playing an event. We're just finalizing the sort of times and stuff. I was just checking if you wanted to still play.
I absolutely do still want to play Ginge.
Oh, I think you're muted.
Shit, I forgot I'm muted in here. Yeah. I absolutely do want to play Ginge. I apologize.
18th of November, Saturday. Don't worry about it. So I just wanted to check the times. Are you East Coast or are you Central?
I am East Coast, yes, sir.
Oh, you're East Coast. Okay. So I don't know. We've got UK times, and it's fucked up the next couple of weeks. So I don't know if it's going to be back to 5 hours by the time that happens. But the next couple of weeks, it's going to be 4 hours. Like tomorrow, it's going to be a 4 hour difference. So UK times.
I am good for any time. I am good for any time that you want.
I'm thinking American times. We've got like midnight, 1 or 2. So that's like, if it's 5 hours, that's 7, 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern.
That would be great. I'm down. Whichever one is best for you.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can do 7. Okay.
I can.
I'll keep it open because you're the second person I've asked. We've got 6 people to book in, and I'm playing.
I am 1,000% ready.
Just about. Right, I'm gonna go and find. Do you know Vroku? I think you.
Yeah, I know Vroku.
Probably met Vroku.
Fantastic.
Okay. So I'm gonna go and talk to him now. So I'll let you know on the Discord shortly.
Thank you so much.
I'm just checking you in.
This is also
out in real life.
Lion Turtle and Dirty Raptor.
Hello.
Hi, Lion Turtle, Dirty Raptor.
You've actually just become part of our YouTube VRchat podcast interview. Congratulations.
Yep, we run a VRchat podcast.
Sorry for interrupting.
It's no problem. It's no problem. It's half the fun sometimes to see who pops in. It's happened a few times. It makes it so much more interesting.
Okay. Is it live?
No,
it's
live.
I don't know. No, it's not live. It'll be edited.
It's recorded. If you don't want to be in it, I can cut it out. No problem.
No, you.
I think it's pretty on brand.
You want me to stay here for a minute, or
it's up to you.
I can go now. I'm not
absolutely up to you.
I think actually having a promoter come and kind of verify a gig with me is pretty on brand.
It's entirely up to you if you want to stay or go. You sound like a very busy man, so I don't want to take up your time.
Oh no! I'm not busy. I'm just. I like lots of different styles of music. So there's lots and lots and lots and lots. This time, like after midnight UK, but before 5 a.m., that European and US kind of like VR chat time zone, there's so much going on. There's like, there's always 10, 15, 20 events all at the same time. So I'm happy to chill here for 20 minutes or jump between 20 different worlds for the next 20 minutes. Like I've got no problem either way.
So I have a question for you. VR. Who are you, and what is it you do here in VR?
I am Ginge. I am from Manchester, UK, and I moved to Manchester when I was younger for university, and I moved there rather than going to Oxford or Cambridge, which I should have done on reflection. But at the time, I was young and I wanted to party, and Manchester was the place to party. And so, and so I don't know, what are we? 2023? Fucking hell.
Time flies.
Nearly 30 years later, I'm still partying, although it's VR chat these days. Occasionally I get out. Like I was at a rave a few weeks back. I've got a rave next weekend to go to in real life. But yeah, I make up for the times I don't go out. I used to go out 6 nights a week in Manchester. And now I can get the most of that vibe and feeling, and sometimes better vibes and feelings, certainly visually, wow, in VR chat. Yeah. It's so amazing.
Wow. So
yeah, the shittiest VR clubs look better than the best in real life clubs.
Yes.
Really?
Definitely.
How much of a difference is there normally between like the real life
and
clubs?
The ravers? Fucking hell. Look at the ravers. There's fucking foxes and cyberpunkers,
the outfits are wild,
robots, and fucking. I saw a Cthulhu just in the last club that I was in, and fucking hell.
Oh, VRchat has whole sorts of people. What brought you here in the first place, may I ask? Like to VRchat?
Yeah, so it's a long, convoluted story. If you've got a few minutes, so lockdown. So I used to go out a lot more before lockdown started. You know, the COVID lockdown.
Yep.
So start of 2020. The first 6 months of 2020 was shit. Like I was like going stir crazy, sat in my house thinking, fucking hell, what's happening to the music scene? What's happening to life out there? You know, what's everyone doing? Why are we not out and about and having fun and interacting? And so I started watching Twitch streams of like a few of my favorite DJs and music producers, and they looked like they were feeling the same. They're like, I'm not DJing because lockdown, and I wanted to talk to you guys, and like, so there was a bit of a community started on there. And then I saw on Twitch that Beatports, the music distribution company, they're probably the #1 DJ music purchasing website in the world, Beatport. They had run an event with Glastonbury Festival. Glastonbury Festival UK is the biggest festival in the UK. And the people who do the dance music stage at Glastonbury, they decided, look, we're not going to do a real world Glastonbury this year, so let's do an online Glastonbury. We'll do it on Twitch. Beatport will promote it, but we'll also build a virtual world and we'll do it in VR.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me this story.
I turned up to that, and like they had Fatboy Slim and Carl Cox and Sasha and Digweed and like all the biggest historic names from the last, like from the 90s and even into the 80s, like massive, huge names playing at that. And not just the old names, there was lots of new names. It was just Glastonbury Festival, do it right. And this was Glastonbury Festival online, basically. And I had such a good time. I was hooked. That was it. That just got me hooked. I was like, where can I find the next experience and the next and the next? And we met a few of us met in that event, and we started promoting our own events. And now, I'm part of a crew that runs events here in VRchat. We do them pretty much every week.
In other words, he's trying to say line. He wasn't on the street corner rubbing his arm up and down, going, "Where the fuck's the music? I want it."
Give me the music. Give me the music. Give me the music. Give me the music. Where's the music? Wait, show it to me. Show it to me. That's me.
Yeah,
That's me.
For a music connoisseur,
like an addict.
The digital world is wonderful. Yeah. It's more than an obsession at this point, but it's as I said earlier, it's nonstop. I mean, it just goes and goes because of people like this that have all the time and energy to bring us all together. You know, it's great.
Oh yeah, and the crew has someone. Kiko Meets the Worlds. She's a fucking amazing 3D world artist. She's so detailed and so clever. And I'm sure there's hundreds of people like Kiko out there, but Kiko's our amazing person. And I know I know that there's hundreds of people out there because I've played at hundreds of amazing worlds that have been built by hundreds of amazing people across VRchat. The amount of detail that goes into these places and the amount of time that people spend on them, I can't fathom how people can find that time in their lives to spend on basically a free artistic.
Yeah, because there's no money. There's no money involved
there's
in any of this.
There's no money anywhere in any of this. It's there's no money anywhere in VRchat. There's like no one's paying.
And it's all created by the people. This is a by the people for the people type of place, if there ever was one.
Yeah. Raised hell by the people too.
It's very, very underground.
Well, as Annias here was saying earlier, it's like an art form of sorts, and maybe a lot of people see this as a way to express themselves to some degree, whether building worlds, music, visual effects, or shaders. Am I muted?
All of the above, and no, I could hear you.
Oh,
I can hear him.
I'm just crazy.
I can.
Oh.
No, and like DJing, also VJing, and I've seen some weird shit in here where
there you go. Ask him the question. Ask him the question, Raptor. Ask him the question, Raptor.
Oh yeah. You want me to ask him the famous question?
Ask him the question.
Okay, DJ. What's the weirdest fucking thing when you first came into VR did you see and you just can't get it out of your head going, ah, shit?
Let's see if he's got one.
Well, there's a lot.
He's got a lot. He don't have one. He's got a shit ton. Holy crap. He's bringing the truck in going, load it up, boy. We're going to have a party. I'll put it on the book.
That's what I said. I'm like, I don't know. This is like 4chan. This is like 4chan. What do you want?
So, my friend Dan Button built a club, and then he said, look, come and put your head through the wall.
Oh my god. Okay, I got a gut feeling what was on the other side of the wall that I
on the other side of the wall. he does some mad shit with, I don't know, physics and maths, but it was green and it looked like hell. It looked like you'd entered hell.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh.
It was like upside down, back to front, like, and scary. Like, you put your head through and you pull your head back straight away. You didn't want to spend any more time in there. It was fucked up. It was. Yeah, so that's one. Do you want some more?
Oh, wow. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, please.
That's half the fun of this place.
Throw it up there. Where's
we got green hell.
Pile
this shit up.
So, do you know Beardy Man?
I do not know.
Oh, I love Beardy Man. Yes, you should know Beardy Man.
Oh,
I don't.
So Beardy Man is a guy who he's a voice-based artist who how would you say that?
He does the loopy music thing, but that's a very poor way to say it.
He's a beatboxer who so anyway, as well as Beardy Man doing that, I've got Beardy Man's assistant Shamanic as part of our crew, and Shamanic has done. Do you know, Shamanic has got some crazy things going on where he'll spend a whole hour making the craziest music you've ever heard, but all he's doing is moving his mouth and his vocal cords. It's I've never seen in all the years I've ever spent involved with music, I've never seen anything like this. It's off the scale.
Man is the number one person on the planet to do that shit. He is like an alien.
So Shamanic is his right-hand man. Shamanic is like his minion. And he's got the same skills.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's impressive.
Yeah. I guess if you spend time around Beardy Man, and I'm actually glad that you guys don't know who Beardy Man is, because you're in for a fucking treat when you go to YouTube and just type in Beardy Man.
God.
It's like the guy makes the most mind-blowing music you've ever heard in your life, and he does it live with little effort.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's a guy called Mark Ribelette. Have you heard of Mark Ribelette? Okay.
Oh yeah, Mark Rebillet. Yeah, Mark
With
Rebillet.
this whole music scene and VR stuff, I am very much under a rock. I'm like,
no. This guy isn't. This guy does on tours, and he made his name really on YouTube, I think. Yeah, but he's Mark a similar type of thing.
I knew something was going on with him when I saw fucking George Clinton leave a comment on one of his fucking videos, and I was like, okay, this is something's going on here. I actually end most of my sets. Look, I end almost all of my DJ sets with "Look at That Ass," just so that I can like do a palate cleanser for the next DJ. But yeah, he's got a song called "Look at That Ass," and I let the ladies know that I got a song coming up for them, and that's usually the song that I end my sets with for sure. Yeah.
Just tell Mom to go look at my ass. She's been beating it for years.
Look at that ass. Let me see your butthole. That's how the song goes.
Yeah, so check out when you can, Beardy Man and Mark Rebillet. Yeah, both of them. Check them out.
I will. Some of this shit, Lion.
Oh yeah, fucking hell, man. Yeah, definitely.
Make sure it's a drop night, okay?
I would say both of those guys are not only are they good at music, but they're both hilarious too. So yeah, you're in for a treat.
Oh yeah.
I'll definitely have to check them out.
It's an experience. It's not just music. It's an experience. It's a whole thing.
Wow.
A couple more. So the one I can think of, there's a one in the back of my head which isn't surfacing right now, but the one I can think of is I live in Manchester, and the famous club of Manchester historically is the Hacienda. That's where Factory Records was based. That's where the Stone Roses was from. That's where like New Order and Joy Division came from. Like the biggest names in Manchester, they're all from this Hacienda nightclub. And that closed down in like 1997, 1998. I was there the night it closed, and I thought, oh shit, that's the end of an era. About a year ago, my friend Dan Button, the same guy who built the fucking Hell Wall, Head Through the Wall club, he built me a Hacienda. He rebuilt the Hacienda. I went to the Hacienda. I was in the Hacienda. I DJed in the Hacienda. Oh my god, that had to be surreal. Amazing.
That had to be surreal, you know.
I'm sure.
It was not just surreal. It was real. And
totally.
It was like being back in the 90's in central Manchester. In the Hacienda. It was unbelievable.
I have experienced a couple of interesting venues that don't try to go all super flashy gyms. Like one of my favorite ones, my buddy, his name started with a Z. A couple years back, I remember I show up at the club, and I'm just kind of in like a dingy little warehouse, and that's all it is an old school fucked up warehouse with like one little plastic table and a DJ setup, and that's all it was, and it was fucking glorious. Because it was just an old school fucking warehouse. It's just an old school That's how the illegal raves used to be.
How we
is
used
you would
to
just
roll.
show up in some industrial fucked up part of town that was like a fucking closed off fucking industrial district
situation.
building.
Yep.
And that's and so to
Hopefully
me,
far
I
enough
almost
away from any humans so that the police weren't called out on you.
Yep.
I almost like that experience more than some of the like mind melting visual stuff because it was just like it just felt right, you know, like probably how you felt when you was in the hacienda that night. It just feels good.
I'm
I
sure.
thought of the other one. So you ever seen any of the Mad Max films?
Yes, definitely have.
Yes?
Yes, I've seen Mad Max.
So
Mad Max.
Post-apocalyptic desert wasteland, yeah? And for whatever reason, the survivors have got these crazy steampunk-looking vehicles racing across the desert, yeah?
Yeah.
So I turn up to Vibe Tribe one time, and they've got a build called Vibe Rider, and I was like, okay, this sounds cool. I get in there, I'm like looking round. Oh my god, I'm on the back of a steampunk truck.
Yeah, the party is going on down. The party's going on down the road. Yep.
Well, no,
everybody's in their little frog cars and shit.
No, I'm on the back of the steampunk truck, and the dance floor is the middle of the trailer of the truck. And
nice.
Either side of the truck, there are steampunk cars, and there's a whole convoy of like steampunk vehicles racing across the desert in a fucking Mad Max wasteland.
A mobile rave.
Incredible.
Nice.
That's cool.
That sounds amazing. Nice. I've never heard of anything like that. We're gonna have to go check that out, Raptor.
It was amazing.
I have seen
Rider. It's called
Vibe Rider.
I have seen a few that resemble that. There's I heard about another one, not so cool as the fucking Mad Max style, but it was just basically like there was like a 70s hippie van at the head of the thing, and then all the other, and they were just kind of going down the highway with the DJ in the back of the van with the doors open, and all of the people in the party were all those little frog cars, just like following it down the road behind it, like
frog cars.
Like, yeah, I know you've seen them, the little adorable little frog cars. They're all just like fucking Mario karting down the road behind the van. And then the other one that's a little bit more popular though is like Heist, where you're in a fucking airplane that just got done with a fucking stealing a whole bunch of gold, and you're literally in the airplane while it's flying, and the rave is in the, like, they got the DJ stage on the back tailgate of the airplane, and you can see like the land as you're like flying below, and like you're literally partying inside a plane full of gold.
Wow.
That's flying down in the fucking sky. Yes. Lots of that kind of stuff.
The guys who have that, the Vibe Rider guys are doing, is it finished? They were doing a night tonight. It looks like it's finished. They had a place called Vibe something. I've not been to that. They've got about 10 different builds, and the one that they went to tonight, I'd never been there. Have you seen Deviate and Kaleidosky? Oh my god!
Oh yeah,
the whole room. The whole room is like the whole room is. It's it's audio activated, trippy fucking visuals.
Oh wow!
Like completely like fractals and both of those venues are like they're the best two venues.
Story for you, Ginge. Interesting story for you, Jins. So the person that created Kaleidosky, Rue, is actually one of my best. It's one of my best friends in life. We grew up together. I've known them for 30. I've known Rue for 30 years.
I was talking to Rue extensively earlier, and I'm playing at Kaleidosky tomorrow night.
Yeah. Just ask her about me. Like we literally like some of the best friends on this planet. I've known her since I was 12 years old, man. Like we grew up together. It's a small world.
Wow.
Yeah,
she's pretty cool. Like, are you coming to they've got an event tomorrow night. It's a long event. They're doing like a 12-hour event.
I think you'll definitely be seeing me over there for sure. So it's dope.
Okay,
it's more dope than what he explained. Not only is it the cool fractal everything. There's like a liquid.
You just have to go and see it.
Yeah, I won't ruin it for you. It's beautiful.
Well, as soon as the matter
there's an anti-gravity area.
Deviate is the same thing. And Deviate's Deviate's on right now. If you wanted to check that out, that's on for Totsy's doing that for a few more hours. So that's an American time zone thing. That
Nice.
if you want to go and see Deviate, go and check it out later. But that's a psychedelic trance event, and they've got.
I got about 15 minutes before I have to head to the next venue because I actually have a 2-hour show tonight. So I'm getting ready to this. As you've probably noticed as we've been talking about tonight, this place does not stop for anybody. There's no stop signs around here, man.
No.
Well,
Non-stop.
it's just
all
happening.
Night long. All night. From when Japan wakes up to when California goes to sleep. So it's like almost 24 hours.
Fuck, I couldn't keep up the fucking first 4 hours. Holy fuck, 10 hours just driving.
No,
Jesus fucking Christ.
And that's the thing. I only do
better living through chemistry.
5-6 hours at a time.
Yeah, until somebody
Usually.
gets the wrong chemistry
Sometimes
set
longer.
and mixes it wrong and goes, "Oh wow, don't drink this shit." Yeah, watch your ass go to the bottom. Yeah.
Well,
I really look forward to kicking some ass with you in November,
If you've got 15 minutes, I strongly recommend you go and have a check out of Deviate. But I'm going to go and check out Shades, where I need to book another DJ for this night that I've asked Annias to play.
Well, thank you
I
very
look forward
much.
to kicking ass with you on the 17th of
I'll see you
November.
all.
Thank you very much. It's been a
Appreciate you
pleasure
showing
getting
up.
to meet you.
Thank me, yes. very
Yeah,
much
you
so.
guys too.
Take
Yeah,
care.
you kick
Have a
ass,
good one.
Ginge. Thank you for following up with me. I love you, brother.
No problem. See you later.
See you later. Have a good
Later,
one.
man.
Wow, he's
See, that was hella fun. I didn't
was
expect
fun.
that. That was super dope.
no. He
Yeah.
seems like a really amazing guy. Funny.
You know, I try to surround myself with people like that, man. You know, just I like everybody. Not everybody's gonna be like the smoothest night. Some people are rough around the edges, you know, like life has roughed them up. But I try to surround myself around people who at least have like a genuine passion for, like, look, everybody's kind of doing stuff for different reasons, but there's a lot of us out here that are just like myself and Jens that are just really passionate about music itself. You know, and that's kind of the driving force. I've used music to connect with people wherever I go, everywhere that I've ever been, including VR, right? It is the door that opens, you know, or it is the thing that opens all the doors and allows me to connect and relate to everyone in my life. So it's really, that's one thing that's not different about VR from real life, is that music is also how I connect and relate with everybody here, you know, and that probably won't change ever, you know, until they put me on the ground.
I don't blame you. I'm glad that you have that kind of passion, because people like you that keep the world and even VR chat moving. Without people like you, there wouldn't be anything to do or see, or wouldn't be half as fun. It'd be a bunch of people standing in front of a mirror complaining about life and drinking.
Well, it takes all it takes all kinds. You know what I mean? There's a
alcohol. I gotta stare in the mirror for 20 minutes. I look pretty. Mom said I could wear the tutu this week. She wore it last week. Now she can stand in front of the mirror. Oh, boy. Holy shit.
Oh Lord. Yeah. So I'll leave you with one more question before we let you go with what your next event, and I don't mean to keep you.
You're not keeping me. You're good.
You mentioned earlier some stuff about AI. What kind of stuff are you working on?
Oh, well, right now, my time is mostly my creative time. I do still write a lot of music. I over at soundcloud.com/Annias. You can pick up a lot of my music. I give a lot of it away for free. But I would say for the better part of the last year, I've mainly been focusing on artificial intelligence. But that's also crossing up here, as I briefly mentioned to you yesterday, into the world of VR. So now I've got an AI companion that can walk around and talk and listen to you and respond and interact with me and other people here in VRchat and other places. So I'm trying to work out the kinks on customizing a lot of that code, and also interconnecting it with Twitch chat, and just basically having like an omnipresent bot that is in Twitch and Discord and VR chat, and, you know, just everywhere at once, so that there's like an an ongoing presence of an entity that can interact with us and help and whatnot. I think that I think that AI is like the most awesome procedurally generated game that ever existed, because we basically at this point have a miniature little god that we can put in our pocket and pull out whenever we need it. I don't think most folks really comprehend like the power of what we have available to us now. And I would just say that from 12 months ago to today, the world that we live in is way different than the one that existed a year ago. And if it hasn't hit you yet, it will. It's coming like a freight train.
It is indeed. Technology and time waits for no man. As Raptor said many times before. Oh, we got another face. Hello.
Yeah, this is Gearflex. Yeah, we're in the middle of
nice to meet you.
We're in the middle of a podcast interview thing, but we're just wrapping it up, so you're just in time. Say hello to the trillions of people watching at home.
Okay, hi. How's it going?
Oh, shit! They caught my ass, so now they're gonna want my door number. Oh my God, help me, Mom.
No, this is my friend Gearflex. They are another amazing human being, as well as a VRchat avatar and world creator.
Oh wow!
That makes some of the dopest stuff I've ever seen.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
Their world is like a clock that's alive. It's like being inside like a clock that's alive. It's wild.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm making a new world. That was like a test one, honestly. I'm starting from scratch.
It, man.
Well, that's a crazy ass test world.
Oh,
that's a crazy ass test world. I tell you what. Well, I tell you what, I'm getting ready to go play a show for a gentleman by the name of Nobi Raccoon. I'm going to be DJing for the next 2 hours. So I'll just say thank you so much, Lion, for giving me an opportunity to speak with you and Raptor. Sorry we had to jump through a couple different hoops, and you guys are going to have to edit the hell out of this thing.
Oh, it's
you want to bet? No, we won't. No, we won't.
Just let it roll, I guess. Just let it roll.
Let it ride. We let it ride.
But I hope that you guys learned a little bit about me and maybe caught some, interesting flows. Plus, we got to meet Ginge, which was really dope. And you don't get to spend, unless they're gonna stay, you don't get to spend much time with Gearflex. But this one's awesome. They're an engineer as well. You should definitely talk to them about stuff sometime. They're super.
Oh, cool. Definitely. You're always welcome. Whenever it is you wish. You have an open invite personally.
No doubt.
Yeah, Gearflex is part of the VR Friends, which is when I told you that night that I played at Launchpad at DDVR, the first time I ever played, and met the people that I met, met Jay Soleil and whatnot. That's who introduced me to the VR Friends, and like this Gearflex here is part of my very first VR friend. My VR fan. This is my OG VR family right here.
Oh wow.
You know how you introduced me to some of the very first people? This is my OG VR family right here.
One of the few.
I love this one.
Oh yeah. I was actually wondering what your plans over the rest of tonight were, actually.
Well, in about 15 minutes, I will be going, or about 20 minutes, I'm going to be going live for 2 hours at Nobi Raccoons. I'm DJing. Yep.
Well,
let's see if I can join. I want to get a few people together. Yeah.
Let's not keep you.
You guys are welcome to come too. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have more interviews to do or what you're doing. But
nope. You were the last interview for today. Where can people find you guys?
There you have it.
Yeah.
I am mostly at like a twitch.tv/Annias, ANNIAS, SoundCloud/Annias. So sometimes I found that the name got taken by somebody. So over on Twitter and Instagram, it's DJ Annias. But generally speaking, if you find Annias, you'll be able to find me pretty much everywhere. Yep. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Lion.
No problem. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
Dun, 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 dun.
On that note, Lion.
Yep.
On that note, folks, if you don't have the balls to play the tunes, get in line, because I am too. Kick it on down the line. Because guess what? They itch too. They need free on runs with it. Bye, folks. Take care. We'll see you next time around.